Welcome to The Hobby with Cage, a sports card show that will keep you on your hobby toes.
On your hobby toes. I mean, the last couple of days you've been on your hobby toes guessing when the next episode's coming out. And as you can see, if you watch it on YouTube, I'm still wearing my suit from a day in court today. Wanted to come home. You know, I could find a million reasons not to do a podcast, but I mean, I owe you guys this. What a crazy week. I always get the hobby news out. I always give you that 1 minute, but you know, like I said, it's 5 minutes. I could find 5 minutes to talk to you guys, and there's just so much to talk about. And you know, I could probably take this in 8 different directions, but the one DM that I got today, it's from someone who has been a listener since day one, and you know, someone I speak to on Instagram, hobby Instagram, since even before I was doing a podcast. And he asked about repacks, and he, you know, very, very matter of factly was like, you know, hey, what do you think about these things? You know, I respect your take. I want to know what your thoughts are. And, you know, and I actually thought about it before responding and said, you know, this is the future. So, you know, obviously I answered with more than that, but, you know, just starting with that, you can't fight it. You know what I mean? Like, this is where the hobby is going. This is where there's money being spent. This is where the quote unquote excitement is. It's where the liquidity is. And there'll always be people chasing cards, right? There'll always be people collecting and people, you know, building their PCs, their player PCs, you name it. But this is, you know, this is where the new blood of the hobby has come in, for lack of a better way of saying it. This is, you know, it's content that the younger kids like to watch. It's that fast-paced gambling that you know, the newer folks to the space seem to be looking for. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, listen, call it gambling or not, you know, I used to complain, you know, I come on here, I can't rip wax anymore. Well, why was I ripping? Why was I ripping wax to begin with? I used to say, you know, I'd break a case of Tops when it came out. I'd pull some of the rookies for myself, and I'd grade some cards, and I would keep the Yordan Alvarez and the, you know, the Bo Bichette and the, you know, the rookies that came out that I got a PSA 10. I'd keep one for myself. I'd give my son the PSA 9. He'd get mad at me. I would keep a couple cards, and then I would sell to help defray the costs of breaking. And, you know, if I got lucky, I made, you know, a lot of it back. But think about what that is at base, right? Isn't it? You're buying those boxes hoping to do better than what you put in. Now, sure, there's, you know, some people buy the boxes hoping to just get cool cards for their collection, and there's something to that. But, you know, if we're really, you know, breaking it down, you know, packs are always and have always been sort of scratch-off tickets that you can buy it under the age of 18, you know, and repacks just really just do that. And my answer to this person was, you know, I think there's room for repacks because it is what people want. People want to be able to put $100 in and have a chance to get $200 out. What I didn't like about repacks, and what I still don't like about repacks, is that you don't need the repack. If 99% of the people are just doing it because it's a slot machine, right? And you want to put $100 in with a chance to get $200 out and give you a floor and a ceiling and the whole deal, that legitimately, you could just gamble. Like, it's the same. You know, here's the payouts, here's the list. It's legitimately the same thing. If somebody came up with a slot machine like Fanatics Collect, you know, when they do their Fanatics gambling, they should do, here's the card slot machine. I'm going to put $100 in. You got a chance to get 200, but you can't get less than 45. And the reason why I compare it to that is because people buying into these repacks do not care what the cards are. Sure, they want to see the checklist. They want to know that, you know, there is a card in there that they can actually get. But the biggest innovation in repacks, the things that really going to drive it forward, is what? It's the automatic buyback. It's the automatic, boom, hit the button. You don't like it, you can get cashed out. Why? So that you can just buy more and hope to get the. It literally has become that slot machine that I talked about many, many times over the last couple of years. And the problem with repacks is that it's repacking crap. It's repacking stuff that nobody actually wants. The people buying repacks are not buying in because they want the product. You could call it anything you want. Call it a certified, call it like Tommy Boy, right? You can put a guarantee on the box, but all you're doing is guaranteeing a piece of crap. You know, you can get the guarantee fairy, come in, make you feel better at night, put that box under your pillow. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But here's the thing, and I said this to the person. I said, we will evolve. right? There are player collectors, there are team collectors, there are fans, there are sport collectors. And we've already started to see this. I'll use Arena Club because that's a sponsor of the show. And I didn't say that in the beginning, so now I'll say it even more. They have Pokemon-specific packs. They have sports-specific packs. They even went as far as theme packs. I've been on, heaters, repacks with Filth Bomb where they just do baseball starting 9. It's baseball by position. Like, that's where we'll go. And there will soon be, like Arena Club has kaboom packs, boom packs, right? You get a kaboom in every pack. There will soon be team repacks if they're not already out somewhere and just haven't gotten publicity. You'll have a repack that's only Yankee cards. You'll have vintage repacks that's just Yankees from the 50s and 60s. You'll have, hockey repacks of just 90. You could have 90s basketball repacks. Think about that, all you 90s basketball guys. You will get a Jordan insert. Jordan insert packs, Jordan 90s insert repacks. You can do an entire repack that's just Jordan 90s insert cards. Now, when you buy that, now the people buying in may actually want that warp speed. They may actually want the Jordan insert, the scoring kings, power in the key, the stuff that I like, the beam team. The refractor. That's a barrel, not an insert. But you know what I'm saying? Think about what can be done in that space and think about how you can expand that out. It is a good way of getting people in without them getting killed. They know the odds. They know the checklist. They know what they can and can't hit. They know what the upside is and the downside is. They understand it going in. It's protected. But even more, it's got a theme to it that fits what they collect. You're welcome to any repacker who steals that idea. Go for it. You should. Because repacking's not going anywhere. And neither are the collectors. And if you find a way to merge those two, then you're onto something. And there's my 5 minutes of repacking. Time to unpack the repacks. Brought to you today by Bleecker Trading and Arena Club.
Thank you for listening to The Hobby with Cage.
Thank you for listening. I can't wait till next week, guys. We're a week away from National. I can't wait to see you guys there. Talk to you soon.